Okay. So what we're going to do, first I'm going to review what we did last Friday, because I just want to be sure you guys all get it, right? So make sure your notes are out and you're taking notes. Gary, you have your notebook? All right, everybody has their notes out? Okay, so I'm going to first start with the first one. If we remember, when you're doing substitution, it's hard to substitute if you don't know what either x is or y equals. You got to know what x equals or y equals in order to substitute, right? So ideally, you want one of the equations to say x equals or y equals, right? One of the equations. In this one, it says y equals. In this one, it doesn't say x equals or y equals. So we're going to have to deal with that in a second. But here it says y equals. So I can go ahead right away and solve this one. And if you remember, the system is, the method is to circle what y equals. Since y is exactly the same thing as this, right? And I can replace this y with that. And then I will have one equation. I'm going to rewrite this second equation. Instead of the y, I'm going to put the 2x plus 5. So I have 3x plus 2x plus 5 equals 10. And then I combine my like terms. I have 3x's plus 2x's is 5x's plus 5 equals 10. I'm going to subtract my 5. Subtract my 5. So I have 5x is equal to 5. And then I'm going to divide by 5, x is equal to 1. All right, x equals 1. Am I done?
No, you have to find y.
No, I still have to find the y. I can use either one of these equations. But since I'm looking for what does y equal, I'm going to choose the top one because it says y equals. I don't have to do extra, math that way. It's going to be quicker. So I'm going to just do that over here. I don't know where I'm going to do that, right here. Y is equal to 2, instead of x, I said x is 1. 2 times 1 plus 5. So that's 2 plus 5, that's a 7. Y equals 7. So I'm going to put y equals 7 here, and I'm done. Pretty easy, right? Pretty straightforward.
Wait.
Question?
Why'd you add 5?
Because I'm using one of these, once I find out my x equals 1, I have to go back
Yeah,
to...
but then, I know that, but then you wrote 2 plus 5.
Because it's
Exactly,
because y equals 2x plus 5.
So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 5, plus 5. So I just didn't write, I just didn't write y equals, sorry.
Okay, that's what I was concerned.
Yeah,
I thought you were adding 5 to 5.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, I see, sorry about that, yeah. I should have written my y equals, I see what you're saying. So y equals 7, there we go. All right. So now I'm going to look at number 2. Question, yes. Yeah.
How does he put the 1?
Because I figured out, after doing all this, I figured out that x equals 1. And so I'm going to rewrite this. Instead of the x here, I'm going to put a 1 in place of the x. So I put 2 parentheses 1 instead of x. Does that make sense? I'm just substituting it back into one of the original problems. Okay. Over here, though, I don't have an x equals or y equals. Right? Do you agree with me? So, Bo, you better listen because this is important. I don't have an x equals or y equals. So I'm going to have to, if I'm going to use the substitution method, then I'm going to have to make one of them say x equals or y equals. Which one do you think would be the easiest one to manipulate and move to say either x equals or y equals? Does anybody have any theory? Do any of them have?
The top one.
Why the top one, Tom?
Because it looks smaller.
It looks smaller, and what else what's in front of the x?
Nothing.
Nothing. Like if there's a hidden 1 there, that's what I want it to be, just plain old x, right? So it's already plain old x. With this, I might end up having a weird fraction or something, because I would have to divide everything by 4 or by 6, depending on which one I chose. But this one already has x all by itself, which is great. So I'm going to redo that. So I'm going to rewrite it over here. X minus 2y equals negative 6. how could I get rid of, what's in the way of it saying x equals? What's in the way? The negative 2y. So how could I get rid of that?
Add to y.
Add 2y, exactly. I'm going to add 2y to both sides. Now, are those like terms right here?
No.
No, so I can't just say that's 8y
Yeah, so
or
it's
negative
6
4y
plus
or anything.
2y.
So I've got now x, this crosses out, right? So then equals, I'm going to say 2y minus 6. You guys agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I have an equation that says x equals. Does that make sense? All I did was I just took the thing that was in the way and I moved it over. Okay, so now I'm going to circle what x equals. And I'm going to go to the second equation, and that's x. So I'm going to circle just the x, not the 4. And I'm going to substitute that into there. Does that make sense? Do you guys see it? Right? Are you confused? What?
You put it in there.
Substitute means replace, right? So I am going to replace, since I know from this equation, I modified it to say x equals this. I know x is exactly the same thing as 2y minus 6. So I'm going to plug the 2y minus 6 in place of x. Since x is equal to 2y minus 6, I'm going to just replace that x with 2y minus 6. Does that make sense?
2 multiplies.
So, yeah, so I've got 4 parentheses, because this is a blob, it's a binomial, right? 2y minus 6 plus 6y equals 4. Now, all I have are y's in here. So one equation, one variable, I can solve it. Easy. So now I just use my distributive property. So I have 8y minus 24 plus 6y equals 4. All right, so what would you do now?
Add 24 both sides.
Okay, that's fine. You could add 24 to both sides. So I've got 8y plus 6y is equal to 28.
You could combine like terms.
Yeah, like terms, which are 8y and 6y, right? So that's 14y, right? Is equal to 28. Now, just divide by 14, right?
Yeah, and get y equals 2.
Right, good. Y is equal to 2. All right, so we've got half of our thing done. So now what do I do now?
Gotta find x.
I've got to find x. So what would I use? I could go to one of the originals, or as long as I'm pretty sure that I did this right.
You do x equals 2 parentheses.
Yes,
2
that's what I would do.
minus 6.
So x is equal to 2 parentheses 2 minus 6. I'm replacing the y, right, with this 2. So x is equal to 4 minus 6, which is negative 2, right? So we've got x equals negative 2. I like to put both my x and y final answer together somewhere so my teacher can see it easily instead of one here and one over here. And I like to circle it because it's really hard with these. There's so much work, it's hard to find it sometimes as a teacher if you don't circle it, right? But if you keep them together, that's really helpful for me. Fist of 5, did you guys understand that process?
Yeah.
So you're looking for it to say x equals or y equals. If it doesn't, you have to manipulate it to say that. Let me see if I can find one other to try, just so that I can show you.
How many questions are on the homework? 4.
I don't remember, but I'll tell you in a minute. Hang on. I just want to see if I can find one that I'm thinking of. Maybe I'll have to make one up. If I don't see one quite what I was going to thinking of. Let me just look at the homework and be sure that I'm not going to throw something. All right, so sometimes you'll see, let me just try something. Okay, we've got, okay, let's try this. 2x minus 2y equals 6. And x plus, let's see, 2x plus 4y equals negative 2x plus 4y equals negative 12. So this is number 3. We're going to do this one. And then, okay, yeah. This will help me explain what I was thinking. Because you will have one problem sort of like this on the homework. I just want to be sure you're prepared for it. What do I do? I'm looking for what? What am I looking for? I want it to say x equals or y equals. Well, neither of them do. And neither of them look like totally, there's not any x's or y's that have nothing in front of them. So Tom, what would you do?
Oh wait, so I was thinking if you could divide, first you have to add 2y, and...
Okay, so you're suggesting this one.
No, the other one.
You're suggesting this one?
No, the top, yeah, sorry.
Right,
And then you
but
add
I'm
2y.
going to just rewrite this equation over here, okay? So I can do something with it. Okay, what would you do?
You add 2y,
So you're going to add 2y,
and then it's 2x equals 2y plus 6.
yeah?
Okay, and then you do 2 divided by 6.
So I want it to say 1x, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
2x.
yeah, but you
So I'm going to divide this by 2,
divide that by 2 and then
divide that by 2, and divide that by 2. You have to divide everything by 2. If you divide one side by 2,
So
dividing the
that-
other side by 2 means you have to divide every term by 2.
So
right?
that would be x
So x,
equals y plus 3.
there you go. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Now we have an equation that says x equals. So I can circle what x equals, and x equals that. And we use this equation. So now I'm going to go back down to the other equation. It wouldn't be a good idea to use this in the equation that you used to get this. That's not what you want to do. You want to go to the other equation, right?
Oh, you already have x equals.
Well, I have this now. And so that's y plus 3 is the same as x. So I'm going to circle the x. And so this is going to be replaced into there, right? So I've got 2 parentheses, y plus 3, plus 4y is equal to negative 12, right? Negative 12. And so now I'm going to use my distributive property. I have 2y plus 6 plus 4y equals negative 12. What would I do now? Somebody different. Caleb, what would you do right now?
What?
So, right now, are you taking notes?
Yeah, I am.
Are you sure? Have you written all this down? No. Okay, this whole problem?
Yeah,
Have you done any of this problem?
Yeah,
Okay.
I wrote the...
So you should be writing things down, right? Okay. So somebody else. Leo, what would you do with this part? Do you see any like terms?
I would subtract 6.
Okay, sure. We'll subtract 6 because that's the odd thing, right?
Yeah.
Subtract 6. So now I have 2y plus 4y is equal to negative 18,
Then I'm going to add 2y and 4y.
which is 6y, right?
And then I'll divide 18.
Divided by 6. So y is equal to what? Negative 3. Exactly. Okay, great. I'm done, right?
Yeah.
No.
No. I've always got to have a y equals and an x equals right next to it. So now I've got to plug this into what? Caleb, where would you plug it in? Yes, x equals y plus 3. So x is equal to negative 3 plus 3, which is what? 0, right? So I'm going to say x is equal to 0. And I'm going to have both of my answers together so I can find it in a box. This divided. Do you get that? Makes sense, right? It's really not hard. It's not hard at all. So homework tonight is, I'm going to have you start on it now. And just stay in your places. Don't move around. And then let me just turn this thing off.